Welcome to Management Study Viz channel. Today we'll discuss MBWA and MBO topics. MBWA definition. MBWA stands for Management by Wandering Around or Management by Walking Around. This is the famous quotation given by W. Edwards Deming. If you wait for people to come to you, you will get small problems. You must go and find them. The big problems are where people don't realize they have one in first place. Concept of MBWA. MBWA refers to a style of business management which involves managers walking around in an unstructured manner through the workplace to check with the employees and the equipment. It developed a technique for checking the teams about the status of work in progress. So, by randomly visiting different departments, the manager in charge can discover problems and fix problems earlier and more efficiently. So friends, managers should spend some part of their time in listening to problems and ideas of their employees because it helps in better understanding what is happening in the organization and to create an environment of authentic and open communication. Also, it helps in creating a meaningful relationships between the management and the subordinates, which can lead to enhance the organizational efficiency. But what is the purpose of this concept? The purpose of this concept is to collect qualitative information, listen to suggestions and complaints, and to keep a finger on the pulse of the organization. So, by using MBWA, managers can gain visibility to identify early warning signs before a disaster strikes. Control. It clearly communicates what must be done and verifies the progress. Optimization. It ensures the use of best practices. Some of the benefits listed here, friends. First one is enhances employee superior relationships. Second one, builds trust and relationships. Third one, promotes open communication. Fourth one, refreshes organizational values. Fifth one, creates a healthy organization. Sixth one, encourages staff to achieve individual and collective goals. Seventh one, it strengthens the ability to drive cultural change for the higher organizational performance. Next is MBO. MBO stands for Management by Objectives. Management by objectives can be defined as a process whereby the employees and the superiors, both of them, come together to identify common goals. The employees set their goals to be achieved, the standards to be taken as the criteria for the measurement of their performance. The term MBO was first popularized by Peter F. Drucker in his book The Practice of Management in 1954. Process of MBO. Friends, process of MBO involves 5 steps like preliminary setting of objectives at the top level, classification of goals, setting of subordinates objectives, recycling of objectives, performance appraisal. First one, let us discuss all these steps in brief. First one is preliminary setting of objectives at the top level. The managers at the top level set the overall objectives by taking planning premises into account. These objectives set by the superiors are preliminary as they must be regarded as tentative and subject to modification as the entire chain of verifiable objectives is worked out by the subordinates. Friends, here verifiable objectives are like profits, market shares, growth, expansion, etc. Next one is classification of goals. The relationships between the results expected and the responsibility for attaining them should be established as every goal and sub-goal, and it should be someone's clear responsibility and accountability. Third one is setting of subordinates objectives. The organization's objectives should be accomplished by a number of individuals. Therefore, each individual should be assigned a specific task and he or she must know in advance what he or she is expected to achieve. Preliminary objectives of the organization may be notified in the views of abilities, strengths and weaknesses of the subordinates. Next one is recycling of objectives. The final objectives are neither set at the top nor at the low level. They are set through consultation and discussion between superior and subordinate. Thus, this is a joint process requiring interaction and recycling among the staff. This process creates a feeling of commitment and involvement of all staff at various levels. Last one is performance appraisal. Each employee should evaluate his accomplishment with the objectives set with the help of his superior. This appraisal provides him the space for correction and for the further improvement. Benefits of MBO. First one is better managing. MBO helps in better management of the organizational resources and activities. Resources and activities are put in such a way that they result into better performance. So, performance can be improved by clarity of the objectives, role clarity, periodic feedback of performance, participation by managers in the management process, realization that there is always scope for improvement of the performance in every situation. Second one is clarity in organizational actions. MBO tends to provide the key result areas, that is KRAs, where organizational efforts are needed. Since organizational objectives are designed very clearly, they help in relating the organization with its environment. Third one is personal satisfaction. MBO provides greatest opportunity for personal satisfaction. This is possible because of two closely related phenomenal participation in objective setting and rational performance appraisal. Individuals enjoy considerable authority and derive satisfaction from the organization, as performance appraisal is based on some specific criteria with commensurate rewards having least scope of personal factors. Fourth one is basic for organizational change. It stimulates organizational change and provides a framework and guidelines for planned change, enabling the top management to initiate, plan, direct, and control the direction and speed of change. As change depends on the internal or the external factors, MBO is applied to make the process of the change very easier. Now, coming to limitations of MBO. First one is time and cost. MBO is not as simple as it looks to be. It requires large amount of the scarce resources in the organization. Sometimes managers get frustrated and feel overburdened. Further, MBO generates paperwork because large number of forms are to be designed and put into practice. Next one is failure to teach MBO philosophy. MBO is a philosophy of managing an organization in a new way. However, manager fail to understand and appreciate this new approach. It demands rigorous analysis as an integral element of the management process, but the organization may not be used to rigor. Frequently, both the base data and the expertise for analysis are not available. If corrective action is not taken early, the objectives become imprecise. Next one is problems in objective setting. MBO requires verifiable objectives against which performance can be measured. Setting such objectives is difficult, at least in some areas. So objectives are more in the form of statement rather than in a quantitative form. Next one is emphasis on short-term objectives. There is a tendency to emphasize on short-term objective, usually for a year or even less. This may help in performance appraisal, but there is always a danger in emphasizing short-term objectives at the cost of long-term objectives. Many a times, an organization's short-term and long-term objectives may be incompatible because of certain specific problems. Next is inflexibility. MBO represents the danger of inflexibility in the organization, particularly when the objectives need to be changed. In a dynamic environment, a particular objective may not be valid forever. So, in the context of revised objectives, changed premises, or modified policies, it is useless to follow the old objectives. Many managers often hesitate to change the objectives during a period of time. Thus, inflexibility created by applying MBO can cause harm than what it may contribute. So we have come to an end, friends. Please like, subscribe the channel for the latest updates. Thank you.